I'm going to talk about something I never thought I would talk about on this channel. To some, just the mention of this word can trigger severe PTSD and revive past horrors that some people have been unfortunate enough to experience. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking about a job. I've been working the same bum-ass Goyim Jewish 9-to-5 job for nearly 2 years now. And please bear in mind, before I got this basic entry-level Ars employment, I was job hunting for a year and a half. Like, it'd be closing shifts where I come back home and look in the mirror and see Prime King Vaughn just staring back at me. And I want to be honest, you guys are legit going to be seeing a lot more videos from me from now on, because to be honest, if this YouTube shit does not work, you can find me on the BBC section. And I'm not talking about the news either, unless I turn into the Burger King guy or something. I remember when I applied for McDonald's. Let me repeat, McDonald's waited 6 months just for them to tell me they rejected my application and going forward with a better candidate. First of all, they needed 6 months to find someone that can flip burgers. Like, what? And second of all, what do you mean by better candidate? What could they possibly have said to make you think, yeah, they're gonna be better putting fries in a bag? Now granted, on the application it did ask me why I wanted to work at McDonald's, and granted I may or may not have said because nigga I'm broke. And obviously I didn't say it like that, but I had the crispiest 50 sheet in my mobile bank account to last me for a month. I had to keep it all the way honest with them. These niggas wanted me to type, "Dear McDonald's, from a young age, I've always been inspired by the art form, which is assembling burgers. I would always find myself in a kitchen, seasoning and cooking 20% fat ground beef just to attempt to replicate the succulent cuisine you serve at your multi-billion-dollar company. I would find myself watching your workers from afar just to witness the masters at work at curating such tender meat. This is the reason..." Bro. This dream is what drives me to continue to live. This dream is the reason why I want to be among the wizards in your kitchen and contribute to the billion-dollar company and make it a trillion-dollar company. I aspire to be more, which I know McDonald's can help me with. This is my reason for my application. Reality. Why do you want to join McDonald's? Well, not too much of McDonald's, because in the very least they did respond to me, albeit 6 months later. My nigga, I did like 100 applications a week on Indeed, and these niggas wouldn't even send me a rejection email. Bear in mind, these niggas would put urgently hiring in bold letters on their application and then proceeded to not hire anyone because the application would still be there 3 months later. And then you go into their business to sit down and have a meal and just see the face of distraught from their employees from being clearly understaffed and overworked. Nigga, hire someone. But as depressing as unemployment may be, it doesn't even come close to employment. I could be working 8 hours, my nigga, that is a third of a day, to still achieve sub 100 Great British pounds. Bear in mind, this isn't including the hour it takes to wash, change and eat. This isn't including the hour it takes to get there and the 2 hours it takes to get back home. This isn't even including TFL charging 100 Robux for one train. And depending on your shift, is either you get up, go to work and have the entire rest of your day to yourself, or get up, go to work, and then go back to sleep just to get up again and go back to work. And then there's the customers, where some of them are admittedly pleasant to serve, and then there's some that's either extremely entitled or just straight up brain dead. I could dead ass explain to a customer that the ingredients in a cup of water is a plastic cup and water, and niggas will look at me like this. Let's just say I work at Starbucks, hypothetically. Or maybe I just straight up work at Starbucks, who knows? Let's just say I call out someone's name for their coffee and they look at me knowing full well I just called their name. Then wait for me to call their name again. And then they're like, "Oh, did you call out this name? Ma'am, would you like me to slime you up?" But then there's the delivery drivers. Oh my god. These niggas could genuinely witness there being a billion products with only 2 people being on shift and then get pissed that their order's not been done yet. And to make it worse, legit every 5 seconds, is it done yet? Is it done yet? 2567 6749 567. Do you genuinely think telling me your order number every 5 seconds is gonna magically make it appear? But the worst thing about these niggas by far is that they be putting on 48-hour deodorant bi-weekly. Furthermore, I think it's about 80% of them that make sure to eat a side of human shit before they speak to me. Like their breath genuinely kicks. They could be shouting at me complaining about how long they've had to wait, and I'll be standing there trying to hold my breath. I don't know if this is some kind of ancient method to quickly complete their order so they can get the fuck out the store, but this shit works 100% of the time. And this is exactly why I dislike closing shifts, because the chance of a dumb customer and an angry delivery driver coming at the same time is exponentially higher when you're closing. But do you want to know the delicious cherry on top when it comes to employment? After a month of hard work and early nights for minimum wage pay, I can sit down and smile knowing that 10% of my wage is going to Israel. Now, I'm not going to rant about my political views regarding Israel because I'm not trying to get cancelled, but I'm also not going to sit here and not question why my taxes are being used to buy these niggas guns. Like, there's been times when it's 2 a.m. in the morning on a rainy day and I began Uber Eats, knowing full well that minority trying to make ends meet is going to be delivering my food, and even then I reluctantly tip them. Bear in mind, these niggas are doing me a service. What is Israel doing? I could have no idea what's going on in Palestine right now and I still wouldn't fuck with these niggas because our government is funding that shit essentially free of charge. Bro, it's literally worse in America where they're getting money straight in their pocket. Anyways, let me stop because this is not a political channel. I'm not trying to really share my views on here for now. When I get bigger, maybe, but for now, let me just keep it very simple. But do you want to know something that's worse than Tel Aviv? My old job. Now I'm going to try and make this concise as possible because thinking about this actually pisses me off. Like, I'm actually pissed off right now. So I got hired as a kitchen assistant, right, at this restaurant. And my job description included preparing food, cooking food, and cleaning. And I want to highlight cleaning because this is genuinely the reason why I had to leave. So like 90% of the time I would be doing closing shifts, which is always busy enough to where I'm needed behind the kitchen to help cook. Or in other words, I couldn't start washing up at a reasonable time. Bear in mind, the morning team would do fuck all washing up, and we didn't have a full-time KP. We had a part-time KP, 3 of them in fact, and they all either quit or got fired. So now allow me to get to the issue with this job. Due to the morning team doing no dishes in the morning and for the store being too busy for me to actually do any dishes until later on, I was doing about 15 hours worth of washing up that I had to complete in an hour. But lucky for me, the single usable sink was tiny, the pipes were leaking, and the dishwasher worked once in a blue moon. Did I also mention that this place has roaches? Because they had roaches. Which means instead of doing a clean, we had to do a deep clean, which is way longer. Anyways, I think now's a good time to mention that the store closes at 10, the shift's supposed to finish at 11, and my train stops running past 12. Do you see where I'm going with this? Not only did I have to do an entire day's worth of washing up by hand, I also had to mop up the floor every 5 minutes because the pipe was leaking. I would have flooded the entire restaurant and then also had to deep clean because of their fucking nasty ass roaches. And because I was standing on the wet floor for extended amounts of times, I deadass got a pressure cyst on my left foot. And with all that being said, that wasn't even the main issue. If I don't complete these tasks in 2 hours, I miss my train, and so I have to either spend how much money on an Uber or take a night bus to the closest point to my house, aka 2 miles away, and walk the rest of the way. This happened 4 separate times, and each time I would come home at like 2 a.m. Now I will mention that there was another kitchen assistant. However, not only were they part-time, due to there being one tiny ass sink, only one person could do all that washing up. But because they had a contracted 20 hours including overtime, that person had to be me. But anyways, I found out a year later that the store closed down, so yeah, fuck. But anyways, what I want to know is how people get jobs at the hub, if you catch my drift, because I ain't never seen a shit on Indeed. Because as I said, if this YouTube shit doesn't work out, yeah, you can find me there. Anyways, thanks for watching. New videos coming out weekly, hopefully, unless I die or something, I don't know. Bye.